Okay, so now I will start uh, the remaining topics. So in the yesterday's class, we have discussed sampling. We started with sampling. In today's class, I am going to explain some of the topics relating to sampling. So this is the syllabus, and I'll start with sampling first. What is sampling? What is sampling distribution? Then we will discuss estimation. After that, we will discuss hypothesis testing, and after that, we will discuss one tail test and two tail test. Then we will discuss type 1 and type 2 error, and we will also discuss Z test and T test. These cases, I actually want to do some cases. If you all will be present in tomorrow's class, we will do cases as well. Okay. So now let's first try to understand what is the difference between population and sample. So for that, I'll open a document. Using that document, I'm going to explain. Okay. So sampling, I hope most of you understand what is sampling. Sample, for example, a blood sample is a sample, right? That you give in a pathology, and then doctor treats you based on that sample. So let me try to explain it in more details. Okay. All right. So sampling, as you can see here, sampling is why do we do sampling? So the reason is we do sampling is because uh, let's say you want to find out what is the average height of boys in Brainware University. So if you have to do it, one way is to find out the height of all the students. Right now, I think we have around 14,000 students. We have 14,000 students in UG, and there are many more. There are many students in PG and PhD as well. So one way could be uh, to measure the height of 14,000 students, and then divide that, add all the heights, and divide that by 14,000, and you will get the average height. But that may not be very easy to do, right? You have to call all the people together, maybe one by one. You will have to impact their schedule. They might be busy, they might not be interested, and so on. So another way to do the same thing is by taking the samples. So we can actually do the sampling. So, uh, so we can choose a small group of students. Let us assume we choose your class, and your class is BBADM2B. So let us assume we select your class, and we measure the height of all the students from your class, and we say that your class is a representative sample. What it means is that your class is representing the entire Brainware University. So we do that, and let's say your class has 18 or 17 students. We add the height of all 17 people and divide the height by 17, and we will get the average height. Okay. So we get the average height, and therefore by using sampling we actually reduce our tasks. we can do it easily. Okay, so this is why we do sampling. Another reason why we do sampling is, let's take an example of a factory. Let us assume that factory is making some material which needs to be very strong. For example, uh, let us assume we are building doors. Okay, we are doing security doors. So security doors help you to remain secure from people who want to steal from you. So let us assume you are building, you have a factory where you build doors, and you want doors to be very strong, because you don't want criminals to break your doors and steal your belongings. So what do you want it to be strong? And how to check whether this board is strong or not? You have to apply force, right? So only by applying the force, let's say you apply a very large amount of force, and after that this particular door doesn't break, that means this door is strong. However, the problem here is that if you do the testing, what will happen is that maybe you will deform this door. Let me try to explain this in another way. So मान लीजिए आपके पास एक डोर है जो कि आप उसको स्ट्रेंथ टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, आप टेस्ट करना चाहते हैं वो कितना स्ट्रांग है. तो अगर आप उस पर फोर्स लगाएंगे तो वो डोर हो सकता है ब्रेक हो जाए, या ऐसा भी हो सकता है वो ब्रेक ना हो लेकिन उसके अंदर कुछ डिफॉर्मिटीज आ जाएं जिसके कारण नेक्स्ट टाइम जब फोर्स लगाया जाए तो वो ब्रेक हो जाए. तो अगर आपको एक फैक्ट्री में मान लीजिए 1000 डोर प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, तो आप उन सभी 1000 डोर्स को का स्ट्रेंथ टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि ऐसा करने पर डोर डैमेज हो जाता है, और डैमेज हो जाएगा तो फिर आप उसको सेल नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग फॉर द एंटायर लॉट, what you do is you select one door or two doors, you do the stress testing, and if they pass the stress test, you say that this all the doors will pass the stress test, and therefore it is okay to therefore we can say that our doors are good quality. So that is why we do sampling. Okay, so now let's talk about the next topic. The next topic is estimation point and interval estimation. So let me try to explain this. What is point and what is interval? Okay. So point and interval estimation of population mean, let us try to understand point. So I hope all of you understand what is a point. See, point is like a pointed object. This is a point, okay? And what is an interval? Interval is like a duration, like an interval, okay? This is an interval. So when we try to estimate, point estimate, what it means is that, let's say there is a sample of 100 students and they have average monthly spending of 3000 on food, then 3000 is the point estimate. What we are saying is that on an average, these 100 students do a monthly spending which is 3000 rupees on food. This is point. Why this is point? Because there is a point which is 3000. Okay. While there is another way to make this estimate, that another way to make this estimate is, I'll show you what is another way. So another way is when you say, instead of saying that average is 3000, what you say is that average spending is between 2800 to 3200. So there is a range. There is a long range. Okay. You are saying that this is the range. I estimate that roughly speaking, the students will be spending money from 2800 to 3200 rupees. This is my interval estimation. I hope I was able to explain to you what is interval estimation and what is point estimation. Okay, now let me take the next thing. So the next thing is hypothesis testing. So hypothesis testing is a very important concept in statistics. I'll try to explain this in simple manner. So hypothesis testing is in statistics. Let me try to explain. So hypothesis testing is a method to make decision. It's a method, and method to make decisions or check claims using data. Okay. So in statistics or in science, we don't believe something just out of random. We don't believe something unless we have the evidence. Okay, and evidence comes from data. For example, let us take an example from real world. Let us assume, uh, see, some of us like to listen to music while we study, and some of us uh, do not listen to music while we study. Let us assume one person out of your class, let's say one person in your class says that music, that listening to music makes my study better and I score good marks. Okay, let's say one of you makes this claim that when I listen to music, my study becomes better and I score good marks. Now, well, some people will say that music is distracting. If I listen to music, I'm not able to concentrate. Uh, yes, hello, Somadit. So you have joined just now. Are you able to hear my voice? Hello, am I audible?
You are audible, sir.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay, so I had started the class already, so I was trying to record it. But okay, now that you have joined, it's better. So I'm sharing my screen.
Hmm.
I'll try to complete whatever I have discussed so far quickly. So let me go back to sampling first. Okay. So see, let me try to explain what is sample and what is population. I hope you already know that. So what is your understanding about sample and population?
Sampling mean uh, taking a portion of a large body
Okay.
to predict or to identify the characteristics or the nature of the thing. Like India is a large country,
Okay.
predicting 140 crore people's opinions by
Right.
taking one by one it's not possible.
Right.
So exit polls take a sample of the population and then examine it. Just like for blood test, it is not possible for doctors to take out all the blood. Say,
Right. Right.
so they just take a syringe of blood
Okay.
to testable.
Okay, there is one more. Of course, your answer is absolutely correct. There is one more situation where where you don't want to test the entire population. So let me try to explain it. So let's say you are making a door. Okay, you are making a door, very strong door, to and you are selling to people who have some very valuable things, and they want to secure their valuable things uh, from the criminals. Okay, so let's say you are building some very strong doors and you want to test the strength of the doors. Then one simple way to test the strength is to apply force. Okay, you apply the force to the door, lot of force, and if that door doesn't break, that means that door is strong enough. So if you do that, what it will happen is, let's say you apply some force, and you see that the door has not deformed, and you say that my door has passed the test. But it might happen that while applying the force, the door becomes inside the structure of the door, although from outside the door is not breaking, but from inside the structure, the door becomes very weak. And next time somebody will apply the force, then it will break. So if you test in this manner, if you have to test your things in such a manner, let's say you have to do the stress testing or strength testing, then you don't want to do the stress testing for the entire population, because doing the test itself can damage your goods. So this is also a reason why you would not want to do the testing or do the sampling for the entire population. You would want to take one or two representative samples. So I hope I was able to explain this point.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I have totally understand the whole concept.
All right. Okay, now let's try to discuss some more things about sampling, because these feature in your LAQs and SAQs. So I wanted to quickly go through these points also. So I'll now explain these points. So it seems one more person has joined. So let me check who has joined. Okay, Somadev Burman has joined. All right. All right. So I was explaining sampling. Okay, so there are roughly speaking there are two types of sampling. So I'll try to write it here. So sampling are of two types. One is probability. One is probability. It is very closely related to random sampling also. So probability sampling, roughly speaking, can be called random sampling, but there is a small difference. And then another is non-probability. So I'll try to quickly explain what do I mean by this. So let us assume let us assume you want to find the average height of all the undergraduate students in Brainwell University. So if you do that, you will have to measure the height of all the 14,000, let's say 14,000 students are there right now. If you do that, you will have to measure the height of 14,000 students, which is not practical, which is not feasible. So in that case, what you will do is you will select some classes randomly to check the heights. Let's say we select your height, BBADM2B. There are 17 students. We measure the height of 17 students. We divide by 17, and we get the answer. So that, and while choosing your class, we did it randomly. We did not do it systematically. We did it randomly. So that is a random sampling. Okay. Another way could be that let's say I was the person who was responsible to do this task, and because I teach your section, I choose your class, and that will that be a random sampling, or will that not be a random sampling? Anyone?
Yes, sir. We are listening.
So I'm saying, if let's say there are two ways. Let's say out of random, by lottery system, somebody chose your class as a representative sample. That is one way. Another way is, let's say I was given this task to find the average height, and because I teach your section, that's why I chose your section. Which one out of these two is random sampling or probability sampling, and which one of these is not non-probability sampling?
In which one I have preferred the class
Yes.
by random by choosing a random sample
Right.
throughout all the departments and the industry,
Right.
and which one is not in that sampling. I have only choose the section which I just say you have said you teach,
Right.
that is non-probability.
That is non-probability, right? So that is a simple difference. Now let's try to understand some of the subtopics in uh, probability sampling or random sampling. So this is a random sampling. Let's say out of you make a list and you randomly select one person, one class from that, then that is a simple random sampling. And another is stratified sampling. Stratified sampling means you divide the groups into some categories. For example, let's say we divide the classes into engineering and let's say management and let's say pharmacy, and then we select one section each from each of these. So that could be stratified sampling. And another one is systematic sampling. Systematic sampling means that let's say we make a list and let's say we have 100 sections in our university, and out of those 100 sections, we start selecting 10th, we started selecting 20th, 30th, and so on. And then we select all those 10 classes, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And then out of those classes, we collect the sample and then we do the testing. So that is a systematic sampling. Okay, I'm not going into detail of this. After that, let's discuss non-probability sampling. So non-probability sampling is where you are slightly biased. For example, uh, let's say uh, you get a task that you have to find out. Let's say you go to a company and let's say you are in a ice cream company. So मान लीजिए आपका आपका इंटर्नशिप लगा है एक आइसक्रीम कंपनी में, और उस कंपनी ने आपको टास्क दिया है कि आपको 100 पीपल से आपको पूछना है कि उनको let's say chocolate flavor, do they like it or not? Do they like the chocolate flavor of that particular ice cream? And you have to go to 100 people. Now, one way to do this survey is simply going to your friends, going to your family members. Okay, you go to your family, you go to your friends nearby, and you get their preferences. So, will this be a random sampling or not? What do you understand by this?
Sir, I don't think it is totally random because we
Sir,
know
this
the
is
people.
strategic.
Yes, someone else is also speaking. Yes.
Shomadev, carry on.
Yes, please. Somadeep, please tell what you are saying. Okay, I think there might be some disturbance. Okay, please continue, Somadip.
Do you tell the situation again?
So the situation is, let's say you get an internship in ice cream company, and they ask you you have to test our new chocolate flavor ice cream, and you have to get the you have to make this sample, make 100 people taste this sample, and then get their feedback. So because you have to complete the task, because you have to complete your internship, what you do is you take those 100 samples to your friends and family members, because it is more convenient for you, because you find it easy. Because going to random people and convincing them that they eat your chocolate is difficult, right? Because not everybody, somebody might say that this chocolate is not good, this is not good for my health, how can I consume something given by a person who I don't know? So you go to your friends and family members and you get their feedback. So is it a form of random sampling?
No, sir. It is not a form of random sampling
Okay.
because I went to my comfort zone, not out of my comfort zone.
Right. So that is what is known as convenience sampling. So there are many instances when you have difficulty reaching out to random people, so you do convenience sampling.
Yes.
Similarly, judgment sampling is that sampling where you make a judgment instead of going to random people. You go to those people. Let's say you make your judgment. You think that maybe children are high consumers of chocolate, so maybe I should only go to children. So that is your judgment. You are not going to random population. So that is a form of judgment sampling. Then next is snowballing sampling. Snowball sampling is, let's say you go to one person and then you ask them, please refer to me someone else. Then they refer to you someone else. Then you go to that person, you take their survey, and then you go to, based on their recommendation, you go to the next person. So it becomes a snowball. I hope you understand what is a snowball. So snowball keeps increasing. So let's say you roll a ball into snow. What it will do is that ball will keep accumulating more and more snow, and it will start becoming bigger and bigger. So in this manner, you reach out to a bigger and bigger population based on the recommendation on the from the previous person. So I hope it was clear what is snowball sampling.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. I doubt that these kind of question, but these are available. These are there in the question bank. So you should just check it out. Check it out them once. But I highly doubt that these kind of questions will be coming. But anyway, I haven't made the paper, so I'm not sure. Okay. So I hope I was able to explain sampling. Now I'm going to the next thing, which is an important thing. Next thing is estimation, which is point and interval estimation. So point estimation, let me try to explain. Let's say you मान लीजिए आपको 1000 लोगों के पास जाके सर्वे करना है कि वो 1 मंथ में फूड कोर्ट में कितना मनी स्पेंड करते हैं, और आप उन 100 स्टूडेंट्स के पास जाकर के आपने आपने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया, आपने उनसे कॉन्वर्जेशन किया, और अल्टीमेटली आपने कहा कि एज पर माई एस्टिमेट these students are spending 3000 rupees in food court in 1 month. So that is a point estimate. And if you say, in my judgment, these students are spending 2800 to 3200 money on an average per month, this is an interval estimate. So I hope I was able to explain what is point estimate and interval estimate.
Yes, sir.
Point is where you give a definite number that this is my point estimate. They are spending 3000, and interval is there is an interval, right? 2800 to 3200. You say that I am 90% confident that these students are spending 2800 to 3200 money per month. So that is the difference between point estimation and interval estimation. Okay, so now let me try to take the next topic. So next topic is hypothesis testing. So what happened today? Today you could not join at 3 a.m. So were you stuck in some other work?
Yes, sir. Actually, the link was at first my network connectivity is not working properly, so I become late.
All right. Okay, so now let me try to explain. So do you have any prior idea of hypothesis testing? Because you have been studying on your own, module 5, I think.
Hypothesis testing.
Yes. Do you have some prior idea?
Hypothesis testing means,
Yes.
sir, I don't explain it my own words.
Okay, okay, all right. But
Sir, I can
you have
explain.
studied it earlier, right? You have at least gone through some content of hypothesis testing before.
Oh, I think Shomodev is trying to say something.
Yes, yes, Somadip, please say. Yes. Please speak loudly.
Sir, do hypothesis testing means to uh, decide a idea about a data is true or not.
Yes, yes, you are very close to it. It is actually regarding some data. Based on some data, we are going to make a decision, and we are going to decide whether something is true or not. That is hypothesis testing. So what you said is absolutely correct. So आपने पहले पढ़ा था क्या कभी किसी दूसरे सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ा है आपने इसको कहाँ पर पढ़ा है आपने इसके बारे में?
नहीं सर, मैं स्टैटिस्टिक्स का वीडियो देख रहा था, सब मॉड्यूल चेक करके चैट जीपीटी में देख रहा था,
Okay,
तब
okay.
हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग एक बार लिखा था.
All right, all right. Okay, what you said is absolutely correct, but let me try to explain this in more formal manner. What is hypothesis testing in statistics? So, see, hypothesis is a claim. Okay, hypothesis is a claim. Claim means ये ट्रू हो भी सकता है नहीं भी हो सकता है. जैसे मान लीजिए आपने एक कोविड के टाइम में मान लीजिए आपकी कंपनी ने एक मेडिसिन बनाया, आप कह रहे हैं कि मेरा मेडिसिन कोविड को क्योर कर देता है, तो ये एक क्लेम है. ये जरूरी नहीं है कि ये सही हो या गलत है, दोनों हो सकता है. सो दैट इज अ हाइपोथेसिस. सो लेट मी ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन hypothesis. There are two types of hypothesis. One is null hypothesis and another is alternative hypothesis. So null hypothesis is represented by HO, and alternative hypothesis is represented by HA. So let us take a very simple example. Let us assume, so let us assume some people, there are two types of people, let's say. Some people like to listen to music when they are studying, and some people don't listen to music when they study. So let us assume somebody, let's say one of you makes a claim that the claim is you say listening to music is good for studies. It improves marks. So tell me, how would you verify this? How would you verify whether it's actually true or not? If you have to make a study, whether listening to music is actually
Uh,
yes.
Either it is good for the studies, it will be only said after testing
Okay.
sometimes, because we have to at first we have to find one person, and
Okay.
then we have to tell that listening music while studying can improve your focus. Then
Okay.
if his outcomes of studies are improved than the previous one, then we can say it has improved.
Okay, right, right. You have to have some mechanism to measure the performance, right? You have to have some mechanism to measure their performance before listening to music and after listening to music, right?
Yes, sir.
You have to design some experimentation. So we are not going into experimentation. Experimentation can be of many types. What I'm trying to explain is there are two types of hypothesis. One is null hypothesis, and another is alternative hypothesis. So null hypothesis usually this is default belief. It usually says nothing has changed, nothing is happening, there is no effect. So in this case, null hypothesis will be there is no impact, there is no impact of listening to music to study. Okay, this will be your null hypothesis. Okay, and your alternative hypothesis will be that listening to music impacts your study. Impacts your study. It can be a positive impact, it can be a negative impact, or we can only be interested in one side. We are only interested in positive impact, or we are only interested in negative impact, but there is an impact. Okay, so let me try to give some more examples of null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis to make it more clear. So I have written some examples. So let's say you do a testing of a patient. You say null hypothesis will be the patient is not COVID positive, and the alternative hypothesis will be the patient is COVID positive. Similarly, let's say there is a criminal is sent to the court, and court says that person is not guilty. I hope you understand what is guilty.
Yes, sir. Guilty means he is accused. That means he has done the wrong work.
No, no, accused is not guilty. Accused means अभी उस पे क्या आरोप लगाया गया है.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Guilty means अपराधी.
नहीं नहीं, गिल्टी मीन्स कि ये साबित हो गया है कि वो दोषी है.
हाँ, कोर्ट ने उसे डिक्लेयर कर दिया.
दोषी डिक्लेयर कर दिया है. आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड दिस वर्ड. सो कोर्ट हैज डिक्लेयर्ड हिम दोषी. ओके, एंड एक्यूज्ड इज जिस पर केवल आरोप लगा हुआ है. ओके, दैट इज अभियुक्त. ओके, सो दैट इज अ डिफरेंस. सो इफ कोर्ट सेज कोर्ट कैन से आइदर दैट पर्सन इज गिल्टी और दैट पर्सन इज नॉट गिल्टी. वो दोषी है या नहीं है. ओके, सो not guilty, see, I hope you can see there is not COVID positive, not guilty, there is no effect of listening to music, there is no impact of listening to music. So in general, wherever you have no, for example here defective product, मान लीजिए आप कोई चीज़ मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं, आप उस मान लीजिए आप मोबाइल फ़ोन मैन्युफैक्चर करते हैं, आपने एक मोबाइल फ़ोन उस लॉट में से चेक करा कि वो डिफेक्टिव है या नहीं, तो नॉट डिफेक्टिव इज null hypothesis, defective is alternative hypothesis. Similar to that, listening to music does not affect your marks, listening to music affect your marks is an alternative hypothesis. Similarly, medicine has no effect on recovery time, the new medicines changes, either it improves or it makes it worse if you take that medicine. So I hope it is clear, at least, till now. See, this is a new concept. You will probably study it if you, in future, if you study more of statistics, you will study it more. Let's say you do more research, you will do it more. But at this point, I hope by now you understand, at least you are able to identify which hypothesis is null hypothesis and which hypothesis is alternative hypothesis. So,
Yes, that thing we can easily identify.
right. So how to do the experiment, that is not part of our syllabus. That is beyond this. But before you do any experiment, you have to make two hypotheses. One hypothesis is null hypothesis, which says that there is no effect, and another is alternative hypothesis. It says there is some effect. Okay. So I hope it was clear. If you join tomorrow, I will actually show you how to do this experiment uh, in numerical manner. So we will see tomorrow. So, but I hope till this point it was clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will talk about one tail test and two tail test. So I'll quickly try to draw a diagram and try to explain you what is one tail test and two tail test. So see, let us assume we will do this exercise tomorrow also. So let us assume uh, there is a factory, and in that factory they are producing an aluminum sheet, and they are claiming that aluminum sheet is 0.04 millimeter. Okay, that factory is claiming that their aluminum sheet is 0.04 millimeter. Okay, now you are saying that I will reject this aluminum sheet if it is different from 0.04 millimeter. Okay. So can you tell me how an aluminum sheet can be different from 0.04 millimeter? Like what can be other thicknesses that make it different from 0.04 millimeter?
Mm.
Let's say it can be 0.05, okay, or it can be 0.03. Okay. So now if you say I will reject it if it is less thick and if it is more thick, in both the cases I will reject it. So that is doing a two-tail test. You are rejecting if it is more thick as well as you are rejecting if it is less thick. Okay. That is one case. Hold on students, just for a few seconds. पीपीटी देना है आपको, तो आप 4:30 तक आ जाइए स्टाफ रूम में. ठीक. Yes. So if you reject it, if it is more than it or less than that, then you are doing a two-tail test. But let's say you say that I am going to accept it if it is more than 0.04, but I am going to reject it if it is less than that, then it will be one-tail test. So was I able to explain the difference?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So आप बता सकते हैं ऐसा कब होगा जब आप ज्यादा थिक होने पर रिजेक्ट नहीं करेंगे, आप एक्सेप्ट कर लेंगे. ऐसा आप कब करेंगे कि जिसमें आपको ज्यादा थिकनेस होने पे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आप कह रहे हैं ठीक है ज्यादा थिकनेस हो तो भी मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं. ऐसा कहाँ हो सकता है कि आपने कुछ ऑर्डर किया है, अगर उस ऑर्डर से ज़्यादा थिकनेस का आइटम भी आपको मिल रहा है आफ्टर ऑर्डर, तो आप उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं. So you will accept it probably because you will think that maybe if it is more thick, then it is more strong. So even if I am actually paying, let's say 100 rupees, they are giving me something which is worth more than that. They are giving me twice the thickness of that. They are giving me 200 rupees worth of item. So there is no harm in accepting that item. So you will probably select it, even if it is different from what you wanted, because it is more thick and you don't have any problem with it being more thick. So that is an example where you will accept it. Okay, let's. So anyway, one tail. Okay. So I hope it was clear. One tail test and two tail test.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we will discuss type one error and type two error. I think there can be some MCQs from this part. So I will
Yes,
try
sir.
to. Yes, yes.
Several hypothesis MCQ and type 1, type 2 error MCQs are there.
All right. Let's discuss type one, type two error. So I have also uploaded module 5 notes. So I hope all of you you can access them on your using your forum. So I'll open them and I'll try to explain type one error and type two error. So now I will open that particular notes and I will explain what is type 1 error, what is type 2 error. So you can actually see the diagrams of one tail test and two tail test in the notes. Okay. Okay, now let me write two hypotheses here. I will write two hypotheses. So let us assume you are doing a COVID test of one person. So tell me what will be the null hypothesis. आप किसी पर्सन का कोविड टेस्ट कर रहे हैं, वो कोविड पॉजिटिव हो सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता है. तो ऐसे में नल हाइपोथेसिस क्या होगा? Can you tell what is the null hypothesis? Tell me what is the characteristic of null hypothesis? नल हाइपोथेसिस में कॉमन क्या था? जितने नल हाइपोथेसिस का एग्जांपल आपने देखा था. So the common thing was patient is not COVID positive. The not was common. So let me try to copy this from here. So this is your null hypothesis, and this is your alternative hypothesis.
Sir, I think it will be categorical or proportional
Sorry.
characteristics.
Uh, yes. So please explain what you are trying to say once again.
I means the character will be categorical. That means infected or non-infected.
Okay. All right. You are saying there will be category of infected or non-infected. Okay. That is actually true, but here we are kind of generalizing it. We are trying to talk in general sense that in null hypothesis, generally there is a not, okay, and in alternate hypothesis, not is not present. That is what we are trying to discuss here. Of course, there are two categories. Uh, one is uh, one is people who are not COVID positive, and another is who are COVID positive. Okay, using this example, I am trying to explain type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay. ओके मान लीजिए आपने किसी पर्सन का टेस्ट किया है कोविड के लिए, तो वहां पर 4 टाइप्स ऑफ आउटकम हो सकते हैं. 4 टाइप्स ऑफ आउटकम कैसे हो सकते हैं? 2 आउटकम होंगे, या तो उस पेशेंट को कोविड पॉजिटिव है या तो वो पेशेंट कोविड पॉजिटिव नहीं है. ये दो ऑल्टरनेटिव्स हैं. और 2 और ऑल्टरनेटिव हैं. वो क्या है? वो है कि रिजल्ट पॉजिटिव आया है और रिजल्ट नेगेटिव आया है. सो देयर विल बी 4 कॉम्बिनेशंस. So, was I able to explain to you how there are 4 combinations?
That means 50% probability
No.
that COVID will come.
No. That is not what I am saying. Let me try to say it again. अगर किसी पेशेंट का कोविड टेस्ट होता है, तो वहाँ पर 4 कॉम्बिनेशंस बन सकते हैं. वो 4 कॉम्बिनेशंस क्या हैं? वो ये है कि उस पर्सन को रियलिटी में कोविड पॉजिटिव है और टेस्ट में भी कोविड पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट मिला है. टेस्ट का रिपोर्ट आया है, उसमें भी कोविड पॉजिटिव है. पेशेंट को रियलिटी में कोविड पॉजिटिव है, टेस्ट में भी कोविड पॉजिटिव है. दूसरा ऑप्शन क्या है? पेशेंट को कोविड पॉजिटिव है रियलिटी में, लेकिन टेस्ट के रिजल्ट में उसको नेगेटिव मिला है. थर्ड ऑल्टरनेटिव क्या है? पेशेंट कोविड नेगेटिव है, रिपोर्ट में भी कोविड नेगेटिव आया है, और फोर्थ है पेशेंट कोविड नेगेटिव है लेकिन रिपोर्ट में कोविड पॉजिटिव आया है. आई होप आई वाज एबल टू एक्सप्लेन. देयर कैन बी 4 अल्टरनेटिव्स.
ओके सर.
एक दो चीजें हैं यहाँ पर, एक है रियलिटी, दूसरा है टेस्ट का रिजल्ट. ओके, टेस्ट का रिजल्ट गलत भी हो सकता है, टेस्ट का रिजल्ट हो सकता है इनएक्यूरेट हो, ऐसा हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता है?
हो सकता है.
Right. So there are four options here. Out of these 4 options, tell me कौन से ऐसे दो रिजल्ट हैं, दो इसमें, इन 4 ऑप्शन में से कौन से ऐसे 2 ऑप्शन हैं जहां पर कोई एरर कमिट हुआ है, जहां पर कोई एरर हुआ है?
जिसमें पॉजिटिव आया है रिजल्ट, कोविड पॉजिटिव.
नहीं, यहाँ पर दो में एरर हुआ है, 2 में एरर नहीं हुआ है. कहां पर एरर नहीं हुआ है? जहां पर पर्सन को कोविड नहीं था, रिपोर्ट में भी आया है कि कोविड नहीं है, और जहां पर पर्सन को कोविड है और रिपोर्ट में भी आया है कोविड है. तो इन दोनों में कोई एरर कमिट नहीं हुआ है. ओके,
ओके.
इन दोनों में जो रियलिटी में है वही रिजल्ट में, टेस्ट के रिपोर्ट में आ गया है. ओके, दीज डोंट हैव एनी एरर. एरर कहां पर है? एरर वहां पर है जहां पर पर्सन कोविड पॉजिटिव है लेकिन रिपोर्ट में आया है कि वो पॉजिटिव नहीं है. ओके, और दूसरा केस क्या है? जहां पर पर्सन को कोविड नेगेटिव है लेकिन रिपोर्ट में आया है कि वो कोविड पॉजिटिव है. आई होप आई वाज एबल टू एक्सप्लेन. राइट?
यस सर.
सो देयर आर 4 चॉइसेस, 4 ऑप्शंस. इनमें से ऐसे 2 ऑप्शन है जहां पर कोई एरर नहीं हुआ है, वहां पर जो रियलिटी में है वही रिपोर्ट में आया है, और ऐसे 2 ऑप्शन है जहां पर एरर कमिट हुआ है, जहां पर पर्सन को रियलिटी में जो उसका स्टेट है वो स्टेट टेस्ट के रिजल्ट में रिफ्लेक्ट नहीं हुआ है. ओके, आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड. समटाइम्स टेस्ट गो रॉन्ग. ऐसा हो सकता है कोई पैथोलॉजी में आपका कोई टेस्ट हो किसी डिजीज के लिए, हो सकता है कोई रिपोर्ट आए, वो रिपोर्ट रियलिटी में ट्रू ना हो, ऐसा हो सकता है. कभी आपके साथ हुआ है ऐसा, या आपने कभी सुना है किसी के साथ होते हुए?
सर मेरे साथ नहीं हुआ है ये.
मेरे साथ भी नहीं हुआ, लेकिन मेरे आसपास बहुत लोगों के साथ हुआ है ये सब.
ओके,
सोमादित्य के साथ हुआ था.
नहीं, मेरे साथ नहीं हुआ, लेकिन मैं बहुत लोगों को जानता हूँ जिनके साथ हुआ है.
Okay, all right. So now I hope you understand that results can be wrong also. Okay, there can be some error, there can be some manual error, there can be many types of errors. Okay, all right. So now I will try to explain type 1 error and type 2 error. Okay, type 1 error is false positive. False positive कब होगा? आपको ये बताना है कि अगर आपके पास ये दोनों हाइपोथेसिस हैं तो फॉल्स पॉजिटिव किसको कहा जाएगा? फॉल्स पॉजिटिव, किसी पर्सन का कोविड टेस्ट हुआ, वो फॉल्स पॉजिटिव हो गया, तो ऐसे रिजल्ट आने पर रियलिटी में क्या हुआ है और रिजल्ट क्या आया है? अगर किसी पर्सन का फॉल्स पॉजिटिव एरर हो चुका है उसके रिजल्ट में, तो इसका मीनिंग क्या है? आपको ये बताना है कि रियलिटी में उसको क्या कोविड है या नहीं, और रिपोर्ट में उसको कोविड आया है या नहीं, आपको ये बताना है. यस, व्हाट इज फॉल्स पॉजिटिव? कोई पर्सन का कोविड टेस्ट हुआ, उसका फॉल्स पॉजिटिव आ गया, तो क्या मीनिंग है इसका?
We have to done a retest.
नहीं, रीटेस्ट तो करना है, लेकिन फॉल्स पॉजिटिव का मतलब क्या है? क्या रिजल्ट आया है इसका?
Sir, what have you said? All positive.
नो नो, फॉल्स पॉजिटिव, फॉल्स, ये फॉल्स पॉजिटिव, हियर फॉल्स पॉजिटिव. व्हाट इज मीनिंग ऑफ फॉल्स पॉजिटिव?
False positive means that the person don't have COVID, instead of the report has showed that he is COVID positive.
राइट राइट. सो यहाँ पर क्या हुआ है? यहाँ पर अगर टाइप 1 एरर आपने कमिट किया है तो इसका मीनिंग क्या है? टाइप 1 एरर कमिट करने का मीनिंग है कि आपने नल हाइपोथेसिस को रिजेक्ट कर दिया है इनकरेक्टली. आपको नल हाइपोथेसिस को रिजेक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए था, लेकिन आपने नल हाइपोथेसिस को रिजेक्ट कर दिया है, आपने ऑल्टरनेटिव हाइपोथेसिस को सेलेक्ट कर लिया. ओके, दैट इज योर टाइप 1 एरर. ओके, टाइप 1 एरर इज कमिटेड व्हेन you reject null hypothesis incorrectly. Okay, this is your type 1 error. And alpha is the probability of committing type 1 error. Okay, I hope I was able to explain what is type 1 error.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another, I'll take 2 more minutes, although you came slightly late, so I wanted to extend the class, but I have some students waiting for me, so I will have to end the class. So,
Okay, sir.
okay. So, but please try to come on the time tomorrow because
Okay, sir.
tomorrow is our last class, right?
Tomorrow we will come on time.
Right? Because tomorrow is our last online class, and I want to explain a practical case. So the last part, if you see here, the last part of your syllabus is case on statistical inferences. I want to discuss this case because it will be very helpful if you do further studies in statistics. Okay, now let's talk about false negative. So can you tell me what is false negative? False negative कब होगा? जब पर्सन के साथ क्या है और उसका रिजल्ट क्या है?
False negative.
Yes.
When the person have the COVID,
Yes.
but the result says he is not COVID affected.
Yes. So in that case, what you do is, you यहाँ पर क्या हुआ है, पर्सन को कोविड है लेकिन आपके रिजल्ट में आया है कि उसको कोविड नहीं है. तो यहाँ पर आपसे आपसे गलती क्या हुई है? आपसे ये गलती हुई है दैट यू फेल टू रिजेक्ट अ नल हाइपोथेसिस विच वाज रॉन्ग. ओके, you fail to reject the null hypothesis which was wrong, and therefore you have committed an error, and the probability of committing that error is beta. Okay, probability of committing that error is beta. So now I hope now you understand. अगर false positive है, false positive का meaning क्या है कि आपने null hypothesis को reject कर दिया है जबकि उसको reject नहीं करना था. और false negative क्या है? false negative में आपको null hypothesis को reject करना था लेकिन आपने उसको reject नहीं किया है. वहां पर आप false negative एरर कमिट करेंगे जो कि टाइप 2 एरर है, और टाइप 1 एरर को कमिट करने का प्रोबेबिलिटी है अल्फा, और टाइप 2 एरर को कमिट करने का प्रोबेबिलिटी है बीटा. ओके, आई होप आई वाज एबल टू एक्सप्लेन दिस टू यू. सो नाउ वी विल टेक द रिमेनिंग टॉपिक्स इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. सो यस, आई थिंक वन ऑफ यू हैव अ डाउट, राइट? Swamedeep has doubt. You wanted to discuss. Yes, Swamedeep.
Yes, sir. What is
Somadip, do you have presented your presentation in statistics?
what you are saying?
Yes, your voice is not clear.
Yes, yes, sir. Somaditya is saying something I did not hear. What is?
No, he is saying presentation आपने कर दिया है नहीं किया है?
नहीं सर, नहीं किया है.
तो प्रेजेंटेशन कर
तो
दीजिए
फिर कल
जल्दी
कर देना,
जल्दी जल्दी, नहीं तो मार्क्स कैसे मिलेंगे आपको?
अंडा मिल जाएगा.